Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakah Kwadash, giving double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that will well, giving reverence to the sincere brothers that is pushing out the gospel throughout the four corners of the world. Peace and blessings and infinite salutation be to the elect, the house of David, that the Lord is raising up in these last days. Alright, which is made up of you so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and scattered Israelites amongst the other nation that look like the other nation, but according to your pedigree, you go back to the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And with that, I want to say Shalom. I just want to get into a quick lesson. I just want to listen of this video. Alright, the title of this lesson, you may call it Never Trust Thy Enemy. Alright, you pretty much know what I'm getting into, especially our enemy, which is Esau Edom. Alright, never trust thy enemy. Alright, just like Esau Edom, especially Esau Edom. Now, never trust the other nations as well, but the top of the list of all of our enemies, especially Esau Edom. Alright, and I was just coming across a couple videos that I have. I was just on social media, just watching videos. Alright, and I just came across a couple videos of
These are the people who were lynched.
It says lynch by hanging. Alright, now it is gonna get a little graphic or whatever. But these things you gotta really keep in mind, because these things is happening now. Okay, these things is not during the time of the civil rights movement, or back then. Alright, lynching is happening right now. Okay, especially 2026, man. So there's nothing new under the sun. Never trust thy enemies. Alright, and let me get that. Just to open it up. Going to the book of Ecclesiasticus. Alright, the book of Ecclesiasticus 12:10. It says, never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Alright, and this is really talking about Esau Edom. Alright, because Esau Edom is the wicked. Okay, and this is the thing about our people. They, you still don't hold Esau Edom accountable for the actions that he have done, for the things he had done in the past, and for the things that he's doing now. You see, our people don't hold they don't hold Esau Edom accountable for the things that he's doing. So of course he's gonna keep doing it, and you're gonna keep trusting him, alright, until he got his foot all up your ass, man. You see? And it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away. Because there's nothing perfect about Esau. There's nothing righteous about Esau. Alright, he's the devil. He's the destroyer. He's Satan. He's the wicked. There's nothing right about him, man. So let's just just play this video. All right.
These are the people who were.
So I just want to just to play this video and just listen to it, and just consider it. All right. Now keep this in mind. This is happening right now, the year of 2026. So, let me play it.
Lynched by hanging from the year 2000 to 2026. Help me say their names. Raynard Johnson. He was found hanging from a pecan tree outside his home in Mississippi. Frederick Jermaine Carter, found hanging from a tree in Greenwood, Mississippi. Otis Bird, found hanging from a tree by a bedsheet in Mississippi. Willie Andrew Jones Jr., his body was found suspended from a pecan tree in the yard of his white girlfriend's family home following an argument with his girlfriend. Rasheem Carter was reported missing on October 2nd. Before he vanished, he contacted his mother, Tiffany, stating that he was actively being stalked and threatened and chased by a group of white men driving 3 different trucks in Mississippi. His remains were later discovered and he was decapitated and his genitalia was placed in his mouth. Investigators are claiming that this was due to wild animal scavenging. Norris Richards.
Which that one right there sounds ridiculous to me, man. Okay? Clearly this was done by humans, man. This was done by somebody. Okay? Alright? The way that they found this young man, you see, it just makes all the sense in the world, man. This wasn't done by animals or nothing like that. It just doesn't make sense, man.
Remains were later discovered and he was decapitated and his genitalia was placed in his mouth. Investigators are claiming that this was due to wild animal scavenging. Norris Richardson was found hanging from a beam in a carport at an abandoned house in a rural county. Damar Travion Reed was found hanging from a tree on his Delta State University campus. Torrance Medley was found hanging on a golf course from a tree with a strap around his neck. Earl D. Smith was found hanging from a tree in New York. The police department quickly ruled his death as suicide. Kyle Basinga was found hanging from a tree in Fair Oaks Park in Georgia. Juliana Nitzia was only 16 years old when she was found hanging from a tree in Charlotte, North Carolina. She had been initially reported by her family, and within 3 days, the Mecklenburg County medical examiners ruled her death a suicide. Tonia Nicole Miller was found hanging.
So now, for some reason, they're having issues finding evidence of why these people, White Jake is, are being found hanged, unalive. All right, for some reason they can't find no evidence. It's they can't find no answers, right? But one thing about the continence of a person, you can tell the continence of a person and what they go through, or what type of individual they are. All right. And just looking at, judging straight from just looking at the video and looking at as Jake continents, all right, they don't look like a type of individual. They don't look like the type of people that will go through certain things, dealing with things and depression to the point that's going to lead to suicide. All right. And one thing about Jake, that's not really something within us, where, especially men, and I'm watching these videos. I'm watching this video and just looking at Jake popping up in the screen, and you just like, man, that, they just don't have the look of a person that is going to take their life, man. It doesn't, you got Jake that's homeless and they still deal with the situation regardless, man. Okay? You see, because we, even though, 2/3 is 2/3, but at the end of the day, they still have a backbone. When you want to compare that to the rest of the other nation. So it's just so odd that Jake is hanging himself. All right? Once again, suicide is not really our thing as a people. All right? Now it is happening, but it's not really our thing. And one would think that if someone is thinking about suicide and it does come down to that point, Jake is gonna want to do it quick. All right, get over with, with it. I'm not giving out no suggestions or nothing like that, because it's a terrible thing to even think like that. All right, but once again, yeah, we deal with depression. Yeah, we deal with the BS and with the hell that is, you know, brought upon us, but to the point that it's going to become suicidal, you know, and then by hanging yourself, you know, this just sounds ridiculous. All right, and once again, just watching this video and looking at the countenance of Jake, you know, it's just, you just don't see a person that's dealing with depression to the point that they're thinking suicidal. But the best thing that these, you know, the best thing that they come up with is the fact that they're committing suicide. They can't find no evidence of someone else committing these crimes, which that's what it looks like, okay, that someone else is committing these crimes. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. All right, you know, this right here, you smell Esau all over this, okay, because he had done it before. All right, and there's nothing stopping him now. All right, and one thing about Esau is that he has more anger now than ever. All right, let me just get a couple more scriptures, and then I'm just gonna let this play. Matter of fact, I'm gonna finish this video, and then I'm bring out some more scriptures.
From a tree in Florida, just days ahead of her Juneteenth celebration, which she was looking forward to. Gerard Jackson was found hanging from a tree in Michigan. Gerard traveled from Illinois with a group of friends to attend the Electric Forest Festival. The official preliminary ruling was that it was suicide. Tasha Fortune was
another one suicidal. I mean, you can just
Gerard
look at
Jackson.
This brother. You know, this brother's, he looks like, you know, he's happy. And I mean, the majority of Jake nowadays, you know, it's easier for Jake to have a comeback. Now, once again, you know, Jake, you know, they got the ups and downs and so on and so forth. All right, but in the society that we live in right now, the majority of 2/3 Jakes, they always have a comeback. I mean, look at, you know, just looking at the countenance of this brother right here, you don't see an individual that will commit suicide. You just don't. All right, especially an Israelite man. You know, us Jake, you know, us men, you know, we deal with a lot of things, but at the point that you want to commit suicide, especially by hanging, come on, it just, you know what I'm saying, it's not adding up. You know, the math is not, it's not math, you know, the math is not right.
In Michigan. Gerard traveled from Illinois with a group of friends to attend the Electric Forest Festival. The official preliminary ruling was that it was suicide. Tasha Fortune was a black mother of 4 whose body was found hanging from a tree behind a vacant house. Her body was suspended so high that they needed a fire truck ladder to get her down. Her mother rejects the idea of suicide. Dr. Stacey Turner, the Mississippi Chief Medical Examiner. The core issues surrounding Dr. Stacey Turner stem from allegations of systemic bias, mislabeled causes of death, and obstructive forensic practice. In 2021, Damian Cameron died after witnesses reported 2 deputies kneeling on his back and neck for over 15 minutes. Despite arriving with clear internal bleeding in his neck, Dr. Turner ruled the death undetermined. Families attempting to seek a second opinion have reported that Dr. Turner's office retained vital bodily structures, preventing independent pathologists from verifying her findings. This is most widely known right now with the Nolan Wells case. She is also the medical practitioner on Tasha Fortune's case. The outrage is so severe that tens of thousands of people have signed viralchange.org petitions demanding that the state board immediately revoke her medical license and remove her from office before she determines that Tasha Fortune was also a suicide. Black people do not hang themselves from trees. May they all get the justice they deserve. My deepest condolences to all of their loved ones. Rest in peace. These are the people who were lynched.
Yep. All right, so that's pretty much it on that. I had another video, but I had lost it. All right, so just bringing out a few more scriptures. Next one that I have is Deuteronomy, the book of Deuteronomy. Forgive me. The book of Genesis. All right. The book of Genesis 27. And Verse 41. Genesis 27 and verse 41, it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. So the Lord, all right, Isaac blessed Jacob. Isaac receiving the blessing, okay? Esau hated Jacob. And ever since then, Esau has hold that hatred until now. That's never going to change. All right? And it's a spiritual thing too, man. You know, when you're around Edomites, they hate you, man. Especially Judah. Okay? Esau hates Judah more than the rest of the tribes of Israel. All right? Now don't get it twisted. Esau hates all Israelites. But the most he hates is Judah. All right? And it says, and Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. Okay? And ever since then, that's what Esau has been doing. Okay? All right? And it's because he was rejected from receiving the blessing. All right? The blessing was set up in the spirit for Jacob to receive it and not Esau. And once again, there's nothing new under the sun. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. And it says, the thing that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? So the way these Edomites moved back in time, all right, it's the same way that they move now. You see? So hanging has always been a thing for Esau. Esau has always been doing that. Okay? And he's going to do it again now. Especially during Jacob's trouble. See, the one thing about now is that we are coming into Jacob's trouble, and things are going to get worse. You see? And it says, verse 10, is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new. It has been already of all time, which was before us. So there's nothing new under the sun. Esau has done it before, and he's going to do it again. And you see it now, man. The hatred has never gone away. All right? So never trust thy enemy. As iron rusteth, so does his wickedness. All right? And that's Esau Edom for you. Okay? And with that, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Badash. I hope that this lesson was edifying as well as uplifting unto those that believe in this gospel. And with that, I want to say Shalom.